Well, it's a beautiful day in Virginia. I came here around 11 o'clock. This is the Flying J. Lots of parking, you know, I like this, and I found, let me go out, show you. I found this spot so that I can leave without problems in the morning, because see, there's lots of parking, so I could take 2 spots, right? But then if somebody parks next to me, might be a problem, you know. And I didn't show you the load too much last time, right? I didn't show you, so I had to move it. So the problem was, by the way, did the inspections. She got a new sticker on the Jeep and on the booster, and we had an issue with what? With this, with that cable over there. Oh, by the way, let's see what he did. So the guy had to rewire the cable. Basically, there was a plug in here, and he didn't even connect it to anything over here. I think I might put some kind of a zip tie in here. But yeah, there was a problem with this cable, and that's what caused, I don't know how it happened. Probably it was just damaged by those, you know, sometimes these things that hold them, they cause more damage. I already had it before with like with hydraulic hose, where the zip tie, you know, they're so hard, right? And they just cause damage. By the way, my friend from Indiana gave me 3 pairs of gloves, and you see this says fueler, so this is for fueling. I'm not supposed to use them to check the load, but he's not here. So anyway, so I went to the pilot on I-64 before the scale, before the inspection scale, and I decided to check my weights, and I was a bit heavy on the back, and the booster for some reason had only 16,000 pounds. Again, even though the bags were like this, you know, and the bags were, you know, what is this, like, see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, position 9. So that's pretty much maximum that I use. And actually these gauges come pretty handy, so I can compare, you know, gauges all over the place. And so yeah, I had not enough weight here, I had too much over here, and I was way light on the Jeep and the truck. And so when we loaded this thing, this track was over here. And this monster counterweight, you know, because, like, look, nothing is in the front, right? Like that thing, that's pretty heavy. And I even wanted to, I asked the buyer, I said, what do you think will happen if I put some pieces of timber and just drop it down? Maybe it'll take some weight off the back. And he says, well, I don't think it'll do anything. And then I look here, and of course, see, if I start lowering this, there's hoses right there, you know. And I tried, actually, I saw what would happen. You see, like, there's a cross member here, like that thing will go right into this cross member, so I will destroy those things in here, you know. If this was a bit further, then yeah, maybe I could use this part. But again, you see, because of this shape, you put a timber in here, it'll be pushing it out. You'll have to secure that timber. It's not good, you know. It's not a good surface to put a timber under, and so I left it like that, even though it's supposed to rest on something. But again, I cannot do anything because of those hoses here, you know. And so yeah, I had to move it. I was afraid to move it all the way because I thought I might overload the Jeep, but The Jeep now is at like 40,000. I still have, in Virginia I'm allowed 44 on my permit. And plus, if I move it too close, then it's hard to tie down, you know. And first time I had fewer chains on it. This time, because now I know this thing weighs 105,000 pounds, I put more chains on. So check this out. So this is good for 20,000 pounds, 40,000 pounds, 60,000 pounds, 80, because there's on both sides, right? 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. Wait, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, yeah? Because each pair of chains is good for, you know, my D-rings are the weakest point. They're only good for 10,000 pounds. And then I just put timbers like this. But yeah, oh, and the problem was, I talked to my friend in Ontario, and I said, because he has a similar booster from GC, I said, any suggestions, you know, like what I can do to make the booster take more weight? And he says, the problem is this, because this was so close here. Basically, he said, you need a bigger shim in the deck, because all this concentrated weight, like now I have a medium-sized shim, right, like this one, and there's a bigger shim, but that's a lot of work, you know, and I had no idea that this will cause this. But basically, because of this concentrated weight, right, so it pushed so much into the trailer that the booster couldn't take off the weight. And so what he suggested, he says, raise the front as high as possible. And believe it or not, that's my position 5 on the front, and I'm only, I don't know, 8 inches, maybe 6 inches off the ground. But you see how the trailer here, it's lower, right? So maximum over there, and then here the lowest position, position 1. And so the trailer is like this. So this kind of like helps. It's as if I had a bigger shim in there. So this, when you do this, this lowers this part, and so then the booster can transfer the weight. And when I scaled, after I did this and after I moved the excavator, I saw that this became 19,100. So 3,000 pounds, because of this, moved to the booster. And so I dropped the weight here, and I picked up the weight over there, but I'm good, more or less. Nobody's perfect. And so I was sitting at the truck stop, was a bit scared of that scale. And yeah, and I did the annual inspection the night before, like really nice guy. What was his name? From Love's truck stop. They had a Speedco there, Speedco service. And I told them that I cannot go inside because there were trucks all over the place, because, you know, I'm so long. I said I need a lot of space to, like, the shop itself was big. The shop itself had the pretty wide opening, you know. I could go in, and I'm legal height. And so the guy says, okay, he says, I'm gonna come to you. And so I was parked on the side there at the truck stop. And when he finally was free, he came over and rechecked everything. Oh, and then later I'll go, when I go to the restaurant, I'm gonna grab, I have a bunch of zip ties in here somewhere. Oh yeah, like these ones. But you see how they're very, sometimes it's not good, you know, they can really cut the cable. But I just want to secure that cable. So that's what when he was doing the DOT inspection, everything was good, but, you know, he cannot certify the booster because there was no clearance lights. You know, like the Jeep was fine, but after the Jeep I only had turn signals, but for some reason no clearance lights. And so he found, he brought that little tester, you know how you can test if there's voltage. Like he hooked up one side to the ground, to the trailer, and he was testing to see if there's power. And he tested all the sockets, and he came to that spot, and there was a plug in there. He unhooked that plug, and he found that when he was twisting the cable, the power was on and off. So it was definitely something was wrong with that cable. And so he removed those two plugs and he hooked them up together. So not the, you know, the prettiest job, but it got me out of that predicament. And he gave me the stickers, and so yesterday night everything was good to go. And then I just waited till daytime. I grabbed the coffee and started driving. And the scale was supposed to be closed, but these local guys here, they don't bother updating the status. You know, when they roll by, I don't know, like it said closed 40 minutes ago. So I cannot sit there forever. So I went, and the scale on I-64 just east of Richmond was for some reason my phone is resetting. I hate when they do this, you know, like automatic downloading of software. I think I told it 3 o'clock, right? What is it down? Is it 3? 3 or 5? That's what my phone is doing. Android has so much more updates than my iPhone, you know, like every couple of days there's a major update that will improve your security. And I'm carrying the phone with me because I'm waiting for a call, because my police pilot might call me, but probably he'll call me later. But I do have voicemail in there, so and so anyway, I started driving, and the truck feels good, you know, everything is good, right? And there's a hill in there, and at the top of the hill I see a sign, and I cannot read the word yet, open or close, but I can see the color, that it's white. And white is usually open, you know, like the word open usually is written in white. And so actually it's a pretty good system. So even if you're too far to read the letters, but the color is transmitted much more efficiently, right? So I can see white or red, and I can see that it's white, son of a gun, it's open. But I see the guy in front of me flashing his red signal. I'm following the guy. It says 25 miles per hour. We're slowing down, and I see some kind of service vans, you know, like a cargo vans, like what couriers and technicians use. They're parked on the side, and even though the light on the scale goes red and then green to, you know, to stop the truck and then let him go, but there's a couple of guys doing something. There's a big control box, like a steel box, you know, like with electronics on the side of the scale, and one guy is doing something in there, and he's workman's clothes. So they were doing something, either calibrating the scale or checking some electric plugs or something. So I'm not sure if the scale was actually functioning, but the light was red. I go on the scale, and I'm so long that, you know, my steer is okay, my drives are okay, but my Jeep is kind of like a trailer, so it took the entire platform, right? So there was no place for the trailer axles, and the light was red. I started driving. I thought they would stop me when the trailer wheels came on the platform, but the light stayed green, so I left. Have a good day, Mr. Dratchev. Yes, sir. So nobody bothered me, nobody asked me for a permit, for the permit. And so I knew that I need to stop here because I'm about an hour south of Maryland border, and this is a huge truck stop, right? So this is Ruther Glen, Virginia, where I stopped on the way here. So yeah, about 60 miles, 100 kilometers to Potomac River on 495. And so I emailed the permit lady. I said, any idea on how long it takes nowadays to get the Maryland permit? Because sometimes they're super busy, sometimes they're not busy, but the permit girls, they know, you know, like they know the situation. And actually, to my surprise, she said, oh yeah, the morning here was crazy, but I'm gonna get you the permits in the next 10-15 minutes. Okay, cool. And then I got the permits, and the lawyer from Kentucky called me about that incident I had over there when a pickup truck hit my excavator. So I'm talking to that guy and I'm checking the permits, and of course I see that on Maryland, because I'm over 150 gross, I need a police escort and a civilian escort. So I had to go to Google Maps, find what county that part of Maryland is, and then they give you a link where you can go and see the phone number for the police barracks in that county. I think it was Montgomery, the biggest county in Maryland. Montgomery County, right outside of Washington, D.C. I called the guy, so they transferred me a couple of times. Finally, I'm talking to the person who's booking escorts, and he asked me for my copy of my permit. He gave me the email address. I emailed him the permit, and I said, this is when I want, if possible, the police escort to meet us. So 9:30 tomorrow on 495. And the guy did tell me that, of course, they always tell you this, that it might take 48 hours. And I said, yeah, I understand. So if possible, tomorrow at 9:30, just you tell me if you don't have any troopers. And then I just received a terse response. Police request filled for the date and time requested, something like that, basically. So we're good. All right. And then I called, I emailed my escort broker. Like I work with them a lot. They're based in Buffalo, New York. So, you know, whenever I need a escort on the way to Canada, like a special Midwest, so that's who I call. I call these guys out of Buffalo. They're pretty big, and they have lots of contractors or pilot car drivers. And I told them I need one civilian for Maryland, and she says, what about Pennsylvania? And I said, hold on. So I checked the Pennsylvania permit. Sure enough, after 90 feet length in PA, you need a pilot. And so, of course, for them it's good. It means that one pilot will make money through Maryland and then Pennsylvania and leave me at New York border. And I'm positive that in New York I will need 2 pilots because of the length. Like, not the width, you know, like I'm 11'10" wide but legal height, but the length, that's where they get you. And so the permit lady said, I mean the escort lady said that she will have she can get me 2 cars for Friday. And so that's what I did. So tomorrow the police and civilian escort are set up. I have the permits, I just have to print them out, and the guy will take me, it's like 270 miles I think from here to, no, maybe more, maybe 320, but from the point where they pick me up it's about 270, 250 miles from Potomac River to New York PA line on US 15, which is Lawrenceville, PA. So we should be able to do it tomorrow, because there's no, I don't see any detours. We're just taking I-495 north around Washington, and then I-270, and then US 15 towards Harrisburg, and then the regular route, you know, 322, 22, 11, 15 north towards New York. And I ordered New York permit, and I ordered the TLP, truck load program. Basically it's a request you do online for the bridge, for the Queenston-Lewiston bridge. So that's where I'm crossing, Queenston-Lewiston. It's the next one north of Buffalo, because that's where they have an export office, right? That's where I have to stop to do the exportation, and the guy will stamp my paperwork. I have to print that out as well. So hopefully the plan is to cross into Canada Friday, probably late afternoon Friday, and then I'll shut down the Flying J over there and start trucking Saturday, and maybe I'll be able to unload Saturday. We'll see. So those are the news. So far so good. Big load, but the truck pulls okay. And tomorrow I wanted to drop the trailer and maybe go into a smaller gas station and save a couple of bucks on fuel, because over here it's $5.35 a gallon, but across the street at a small gas station it's $5.15, so 20 cents. So if I buy 100 gallons, that's 20 bucks. But I decided not to do it because it's too much pain in the butt. Whereas here in the morning I'll just go around, like the lanes, the fuel lanes are pretty wide. I did this before, so I'll just go around like this, pull through here to get one tank full, and leave probably around 7:38. Because another trick is that I cannot be on 495 near Washington before 9. Like they have a curfew 7 to 9, and so I gotta calculate everything just so. I need about an hour to get there, right? So I'm gonna leave probably 7:45, and I should be there at 9 at 495, and I'll wait there for like 5 after 9, and then it's 20 miles to Potomac River, where I'm meeting my civilian pilot and my police pilot. Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask him, because sometimes they need cash. Maybe I'll send him an email, ask him. I think, yeah, that was Ohio. I think in Ohio, like, you make 2 payments. I think one goes to the actual, no, wait, Maryland is included. Yeah, Maryland is included, except I think if it takes more than 4 hours, then you have to pay extra. But I think up to 4 hours it's included. Yeah, and the distance, I checked on the map, from the point where we meet, Virginia Maryland border, to Pennsylvania border, it's about 60 miles. So worst case scenario, it takes us 2 hours, but not 4. So I think we should be good. All right, that's the update. Those are the news. I'll make sure I'll charge the GoPro and show you some driving tomorrow with the pilots. Sounds good? Ciao.